Hey, good morning. What's going on, Facebook family and those on different platforms as well? But Dr. Sean J. Harris here. Wanted to come to you guys, Generational Wealth Academy. Want to share with you how to take advantage of different government contracts. I'm not going to go into great depth today due to limited time, but I do want to make you aware of some different opportunities that are there that are called set-asides for disadvantaged businesses for various different disadvantages. So I'm going to kind of just go over some of the details. I think I'm going to do an in-depth training later on this week. I may even be doing a course on this, on how to be able to take advantage. But first I want to talk about is what's called a WBE, which is a Women's Business Enterprise. That's one of the most common ones that you'll see. The next one I want to talk about is MBEs, which is Minority Business Enterprise. This used to be designed for African Americans, but there's so many different groups of minorities right now, whether it's the LGBT, whether it's Latino, Asian. So just so many people fall into this category now. Then you have a SDB, which is Small Disadvantaged Business. This pretty much applies for anyone who's considered a small business owner. Now, a lot of times people think, well, I have X amount of employees. You may have 300 employees. Well, you're still considered small business when it comes to tax purposes. So pretty much any corporation or business that's under 500 employees is typically considered a small business. So a lot of people could fall under that category. Then you have a WOSB, which is a women-owned small business. This is very advantageous. We take advantage of this a lot here in our house, being that Tara is a female, of course. So depending on how you put your operating agreement together, you can take advantage of different things like that as far as the ownership. Also note too, I think a lot of times men sometimes may feel insecure or uncomfortable about having their wife recognized as a majority business owner, taking 51% and him taking 49%. Again, that's where the operating agreement comes into place, because it's not necessarily who owns the company, necessarily it's who has control of the company. So a lot of times, and let me just kind of veer off a little bit, things like when you watch TV shows like Shark Tank, for an example, a lot of times people get afraid because they say, well, you're taking too much equity stake in my company. How you doing, LaShawn? So it's not necessarily who has the ownership necessarily, but it's who has control. So a lot of times business owners will take a very small stake in ownership but have all the control, and that again can be for tax purposes. So don't get weary on that one, fellas. Next we have is SDV OSB, which is Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business. I think I got that right. So pretty much this comes from disabled veterans. A lot of people I know are disabled veterans. This allows you an opportunity to be able to get deals on contracts before just the average person who may not have one of these entitlements. Next one I'm going to talk about is EDWOSB, which is Economically Disabled Women Business Small Business Owner. That's it. So again, this is pretty much the same thing where it's female-owned business, or at least majority female-owned company, where she can now take advantage of getting contracts ahead of other people. Then you have what's called the HUD zone, which is historically, historically underutilized. That's it. Historically underutilized business zone. So just like the HUD that you know about with housing, it's the same thing. If your business is located in a HUD zone, hub zone, then you are allowed certain advantages as well as it relates to being able to apply for different contracts for business. So I'm going to go into greater depth there. They can get very complex. They're not really hard, but they do go into greater detail. But one of the key things you want to do is be able to take advantage of some of these, and a lot of times you're in a position where you can actually stack some of these contracts or disadvantages. Say, for example, like myself, I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a disabled war veteran. I'm a minority disabled war veteran. Tara is a minority, African American, disabled, disadvantaged veteran business owner. So you see how we got all of these different certifications that wrap around just us. We got a couple of our businesses who has an address in a hub zone, so that puts us at a further advantage. So you can have a whole bunch of different classifications of disadvantages for your business. So what this does, it allows you to be able to get bumped ahead of the crowd when it comes to the set-asides that the government have to provide for disadvantaged or minority businesses. So I'm going to teach on this a little bit more probably later on in the week or next week, but start researching this, because if your business falls under one of these categories, you can take advantage of these opportunities. If you're not taking advantage of them, you're missing out big time, because the set-asides, you're in a position where you get first dibs of the set-asides that are usually like the first 30% of government contracts have to go to some type of minority business owner. So take advantage of that. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. I think we have like 312 days left in 2022 to achieve your 2022 goals. So time is running out. Let's go.